Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Whitfield. I am the progressive common sense Democrat running for United States Senate here in Arkansas to unseat and replace Senator John Bozeman. And every week, usually on Fridays, but in observance of Good Friday, I decided to push it off until today. I do a weekly legislative recap where I talk about what our legislators here in Arkansas have done throughout the last week. Fortunately, we did have Good Friday yesterday, so our legislators had one less day to submit a bunch of these terrible bills that they've been proposing. So I actually, for the first time, have more positive bills than good bill or than bad bills to go over. So I'm really excited about that. So let me make sure real quick. Hey, Jeannie, thank you for joining. That my audio is not all messed up. So I'm really excited. Awesome. My audio is working this time. It doesn't have me sounding all real low. All right. So let's just jump right into it. Let me go ahead and open this up here. And we will first start with House Bill 1570. Now, this is probably the most controversial bill going around right now in the entire country. There are people writing articles about it from the East Coast to the West Coast, all the way from Arkansas and Louisiana up to Michigan. People are writing about this everywhere because of how wrong it is to target and discriminate against children. So we're going to start with House Bill 1570, which is to create the Arkansas Save Adolescents from Experimentation Act. All right. But what this bill mostly does is it will make it so that doctors can no longer help anyone under 18 with transitional therapy, whether it be drugs or whatever, to help them better identify with their sex. What's really odd about this is let's see here. We can look at section 3 right here. So one of the reasons that they state that they support this bill, okay, so for the small percentage of children who are gender nonconforming or experience distress at identifying with their biological sex, studies consistently demonstrate that the majority come to identify with their biological sex in adolescence or adulthood, therefore, or thereby rendering most psychological intervening unnecessary. They're basically saying that, you know what, kids who are sexually or confused about their sexual identity, who may not feel like their identity is expressed by their biological sex, they're going to grow out of it. So we don't want doctors to help them. We don't want psychologists to help them. They'll grow out of it. It's unnecessary. So this is a terrible bill. If you want to look more into it, it's House Bill 1570. I believe this bill actually did just okay. So it already passed the Senate, it passed the House, and it has been transmitted to the governor's office. So the only way that we will prevent Arkansas from becoming the first anti-trans legislative state is to call Governor Asa Hutchinson and demand him to veto this bill. And that's our last chance at not being the laughing stock of the country. We've got to have Asa Hutchinson veto this bill. So this is House Bill 1570, which was sponsored by Lundstrom, this lady right here, and let me close this down. And the other primary sponsor was Clark, this gentleman right here. This is his phone number if you would like to let him know how you feel about the bill that he's co-sponsoring, especially if you're one of his constituents, 501-844-6800. And let's go back and put Lundstrom's information up there as well. To reach out to Representative Robin Lundstrom, her phone number is 479-957 1959. So again, if she is your representative and you do not agree with this legislation, make sure to reach out to her. There's nothing really that they can do at this point, but you should still let them know how you feel. But calling Governor Asa Hutchinson to have him veto is the only way to stop this terrible bill at this point. All right. Now I only have 5 bad bills to go over, so bear with me. It's going to be super tough and painful. But after that, I will have 6 positive bills that are running around our state legislative body right now that we will talk about briefly after these. All right. So next one we are going to look at is going to be House Bill 1646. Hey, Patty, thank you for joining. All right. So this is House Bill 1646 concerning the definition of person in the Arkansas Criminal Code, which is very interesting. And it is the other primary sponsor is Rappert, and the lead sponsor here is Cloud, Mr. Joe Cloud. Let's see, he's out of Russellville, 479-858-8033. All right, so let's go ahead and open this thing up. If I can get this PDF button to work. It's not a huge fan of having HAPS up. All right. So, some of the interesting things I found about this bill. Let's come down here a little bit. This is all current law, and you can tell what the proposed change is. If it's underlined, it will be added, and if it has a line through it, it will be struck out. All right. So as used in 510-101, 510-105, and 54604, person also includes an unborn child in utero at any stage of development. So now you have to worry about what happens if you accidentally miscarry, or if you're a pregnant woman and you accidentally do something to your body that causes a miscarriage. Now you can be criminally liable for manslaughter or murder because a unborn child at utero at any stage of development will be considered a person. So just some technicalities that they're trying to get in there to protect their anti-abortion bills that they're pushing through right now. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the next one. All right, only 3 more bad bills to go. It's going to be a good day. 1592. All right, we have House Bill 1592, which is to create the Arkansas Student Protection Act, which is very interesting. It was sponsored by Lowry. So we got Mr. Mark Lowry here. He's out of Maumelle, and his phone number is 501-837-5221. If he is your representative, come on, little PDF button. There we go. All right. So this is a very interesting bill. It's only 3 pages, well, a little over 2 pages. So let's kind of just read through this one briefly. All right. Subchapter 22, Arkansas Student Protection Act. 618-2201 creation. This subchapter shall be known and may be cited as the Arkansas Student Protection Act. So, as used in this subchapter, 1A, abortion means the act of using or prescribing an instrument, medicine, drug, device, or other substance or means which the intent to terminate the clinically diagnosable pregnancy of a woman with knowledge that the termination by those means will with reasonable likelihood cause the death of the unborn child. B, an action taken under subdivision 1A of this section is not an abortion if the action taken is performed with the intent to save the life of the mother, save the life or preserve the health of the unborn child, remove a dead unborn child caused by spontaneous abortion, or remove an ectopic pregnancy. 2, abortion referral means the act of recommending to a pregnant woman to a doctor, clinic, or other person or entity for the purpose of obtaining or learning about obtaining an abortion. Affiliate, transaction. Okay, so let's get down to the meat of this thing real quick. All right. A public school or open enrollment public charter school shall not knowingly enter into any type of transaction with an individual or entity that performs abortions, induces abortions, or provides abortions. Now, the problem with this bill is many schools are partnered, say, with Planned Parenthood, where Planned Parenthood can give them free contraception to give to young adults and students. So it will prevent any kind of contraception from being given to public schools, which is terribly dangerous because we know historically that when legislation like this passes and we remove the means of obtaining contraception easily for children and young adults, they're going to have sex anyways. And then we have a problem with teen pregnancies. And then we have a problem with the foster care system getting overwhelmed, all these other issues that a bill like this can cause. So we have to be very careful about what is going on in our state that they're not talking about in the news, because this is one that I haven't actually seen in the news yet. So we need to keep an eye on this. Division, elementary, and educational rules. Okay, I think that is the main gist of this one. All right, so that is House Bill 1592. Let's see. It was placed on second reading for the purpose of amendment in the House. Amendment number 1 was read and adopted, and it was engrossed and correctly engrossed. So this will be voted on by the House at some point, and then after the House, it'll, of course, go to the Senate. So make sure you do call your representatives, including if you are in the area. Mr. Representative Mark Lowry, his phone number is 501-837-5221. Let him know that you want children to be able to access contraceptives at school and that this bill would endanger that, therefore endangering children. All right. Moving right along. 2 more bad ones, almost there to the good stuff. I'm so excited to have some of these bills that are going through our legislative body right now that I will be able to read about here in just a few minutes. All right. So next we will do House Bill 1589. All right, let's go ahead and hop backwards there. House Bill 1589. We'll do it from here. All right, so to prohibit taxpayer resource transactions for abortions. So this is really going to greatly affect so many low-income Arkansans who may be forced to get an abortion for one reason or another. This is sponsored by Bro, Mr. Harlan Bro here. He is Holiday Island, 479-981-3170. And the other primary sponsor is Bob Ballinger. He's out of Ozark, Eureka Springs area. His phone number is 870-505-4448. I will get you PDF button. There we go. All right. So this one is not too long. Let's try to get into the meat of it so we can see exactly what it's talking about on here. So the state of Arkansas facilities legislative findings. The General Assembly finds that the state of Arkansas facilitates the disbursement of both state and federal funds to qualifying entities for purposes of conducting certain activities. So they're already qualifying. Number 2, public dollars awarded to qualifying entities may facilitate or subsidize directly or indirectly expenses or activities not directly related to those for which the funds were intended, including without limitation shared administrative costs, overhead, employee salaries, rent, utilities, and various other expenses. It is possible that public dollars were made available by or through the state of Arkansas may be awarded to an entity that performs elective abortions or subsidizes or otherwise facilitates the entity's ability to perform elective abortions, although the funds were not dispersed specifically for the purpose of performing elective abortions. Sorry, there's a lot of abortion talk in our state legislative body this week. That's why we've got, 3 of them are talking about abortion. All right. Amendment 68 to the Arkansas Constitution of 1874 states no public funds will be used to pay for any abortion except to save the mother's life. This is their new amendment that they just submitted a couple weeks ago. The direct or indirect subsidization of or a facilitation of abortion with funds distributed by the state constitutes paying for an abortion and therefore conflicts with Amendment 68 of the Arkansas Constitution of 1874. I love how they keep throwing the Arkansas Constitution of 1874 when their new abortion amendment is actually 2021. They just try to make it sound traditional and historic to look better for them. All right. Number 7 is within the purview of the General Assembly to establish criteria as the basis on which public funds are dispersed. All right, moving right along. These are just definitions: abortion affiliate, governmental entity, political subdivision, taxpayer resource, then further into taxpayer resources. Prohibit subsection. Okay, so basically, they're just trying to make sure that there are no public facilities that are performing abortions that are able to get federal or state funding that they currently qualify for. So this is another terrible bill just looking to defund abortion clinics, places that literally save women's lives. It's insane. All right. So enough of that silly bill. Let's go ahead and move towards the next one. This is the last negative bill we have to talk about. Then we have good stuff to talk about, so I'm excited. All right. We have House Bill 1403. All right. So this is to amend the income tax and to reduce the rate of tax levied on the top income tax bracket. It's exactly what it says. They want to lower taxes for the wealthiest people in Arkansas. All right. Lead sponsor is John Maddox. He's out of Mena, Arkansas, 479-394-6060. Other primary sponsor, Senator Bart Hester. He's out of Cave Springs. He represents areas like Bentonville, Centerton, the areas of our Fortune 500 company homes, the areas where the Waltons would be considered. His phone number is 479-531-4176. All right, so let's look at this thing here. Okay, here we go. This is part of our current tax code right here. Let me see if I can move up just a little bit. There we go. All right. For every resident, individual, trust, or estate having net income greater than or equal to $22,200, but less than or equal to $79,300, shall determine the amount of income tax due under this subsection in accordance with the table set forth below. So right now, from 0 to 4,500, 0.75%. 4,500 to 8,899, 2.5%. 89 to 13,399, 3.5. 13,400 to 12,199, 4.5. 22,200 to 37,199, 5%. And hiding on the next page here, 37,200 to 79,300, currently at 5.9%, but will reduce it to 5.8%. So you may feel like, well, it's 0.1% change. That's not a big deal. But when you take into account that there are billionaires living here, that there are several millionaires living here, that is a lot of tax revenue that we will be missing out on, that we are going to have to find another way to subsidize. So, coming down here a little bit, concerning the rate of tax levied on the income of individuals, trusts, and estates is amended to add an additional subdivision to read as follows. For tax years beginning on or after January 1st, 2022, every resident, individual, trust, or estate having net income of more than $79,300 shall determine the amount of income tax due under this subsection in accordance with the table set forth below. So it looks like they will have 0 to 4,000 at 2%, 4,001 to 8,000 at 4%, and 8,001 and above at 5.8%. And I believe the current, I think I read, was 6.3. So it will reduce by about 0.5% for the top earners in our state. Now, I have nothing against top earners. Honestly, my wife and I combined, we are in this bracket because we make over 79,000 combined. Now, the problem is this targets a majority of Arkansans. The average household income is $40,000 a year. there are many counties in the Delta region that still have an average household income, not singular, but household income of less than $25,000. So this is really going to disproportionately hurt the more poor and working class Arkansans, but it is going to allow the very, very wealthy, and I'm not talking about people who make 100 or 200 or 300,000. I'm talking about people who are making like 5 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion. This is going to affect them a lot more than it's going to affect us. So this is just another way to show that representatives such as Bart Hester and Maddox, who take money from special interests, are going to push legislation that benefit those special interests while hurting their constituents. All right. I'm done with the negative. Yes. Oh my goodness. All right. Now we can move to some positive legislation that has been going around our state. I'm excited for this. All right. So let's start with House Bill 1157. All right. To increase the amount of income tax deduction for a teacher's qualified classroom investment expense. Now, one of the problems with this bill is it's kind of here's a good looking bill on paper, but it doesn't really work because many teachers don't make a great enough income that they qualify for their itemized deductions anyways. All right. So let's look at this one here. It's one page. All right. So where the big difference is. I'm not sure if it's my phone. Oh, is my video being really choppy? Check your phone. I'm not sure if it's on my phone. Hold on. Let me take a quick look here. Nope, being choppy there. Being choppy there. It's being choppy everywhere. No, Haps, don't do this to me. No, it's better. Now it's better? I don't know. No, it's not better. Let's see here. That's fine. I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me clearly. Is the audio working at least? Yeah. The audio is fine. It's just the video. Okay. So sorry, my wife is helping me out a little bit. All right. So what to notice here is that the original deduction they could use was up to $250 or up to $500. So they doubled the amount of deductions that teachers can write off, which is good. But again, the problem is a lot of teachers don't make enough money to be able to do itemized deductions anyways. So how about we raise teacher salaries and then we focus on legislation like this, or pass this in the meantime while helping raise teacher salaries. All right, but that's good. So that's one good bill. Let's go ahead, and the next one we're going to do House, or actually we're moving on to Senate bills. We got Senate Bill 161. All right. To allow a public school or a public school district to offer a hunter safety course as part of its curriculum. That is great. Some people may not agree with this, but I really think it's a good idea. I think schools should offer a hunter's safety training course. It's not going to be required. It will be optional. As an example, I remember when I got my hunter safety when I was younger, I had to go to Walmart, spend a bunch of money, and sit in a classroom in a Walmart in a break room at Walmart, in a little Walmart break room, for 12 hours to get my hunter safety license. It's all good stuff. It teaches gun safety. It teaches the laws about hunting. It's a great class. And I think that we really could use this to help educate our children here in Arkansas. So let's go through real quickly. A public school or public school district may offer to its public school students in grades 5 through 12 a hunting safety course as part of the public schools or public school districts physical education and health and safety curriculum. Hunting safety courses offered as part of the physical education and health and safety curriculum by a public school or public school district shall be based on the hunter training and safety program offered by the Arkansas Fish and Game Commission, be taught by an individual who meets the qualifications the commission requires individuals to meet in order to teach a hunting training and safety program offered by the commission. So, and there's a little bit more, but as you can see, I think this is a really good bill. I think gun education, gun safety is extremely important, and the younger we can teach it to our children, the better. All right, that's Senate Bill 161. And next, we're going to do Senate Bill 160 to require Holocaust education be taught in all public schools. I think it is extremely important to teach children about the Holocaust, about Nazi Germany, what led to the Third Reich being able to take control of the country and the government, and the disastrous effects that it left on not only the German people, but people all across the world. World War II is a very important part of our history that we really need to have every detail in there. We can't whitewash it. We need to make sure our children don't make those same mistakes. So I think this is a good bill requiring Holocaust education to be taught in public schools. And I read through this. It's really just self explanatory. Beginning in 2022-2023 school year, Holocaust education shall be taught in public schools in a manner that generates an understanding of the causes, course, and effects of the Holocaust, develops dialogue with students on the ramifications of bullying, bigotry, stereotyping, and discrimination, and encourages tolerance of diversity and reverence for human dignity for all citizens in a pluralistic society. So I think this is, again, a really good bill. Good job, legislators. And this is even Bart Hester, I believe, Ballinger, Rappert, Hendren, Irvin, Elliott. So it's got really a lot of bipartisan support in here. All right, that is Senate Bill 160. And we've only got 3 more positive bills to talk about before I leave you all for the evening. And actually, my weekly update live stream Q&A starts in about 30 minutes, so I will be hopping on that after this. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is House Bill 1697. Missed a 6 in there. All right, to amend the law concerning no-fault divorce. So we've got Lenny, Letting, Collins, Hudson. This is a really good bill. Let's see here. PDF. All right. Concerning grounds for divorce is amended to add an additional subdivision to read as follows. 8A. When the marriage has become insupportable as a result of irreconcilable differences which have caused the irredeemable breakdown of the marriage, or a discord or conflict of personalities which has destroyed the legitimate bonds of the marital relationship and prevents any reasonable expectation of reconciliation. A divorce under subdivision B8A of this section may be granted irrespective of the fault of either party. So no fault divorce, which is really important. There are a lot of abusive, not necessarily abusive marriages, but there are a lot of unhappy people who may have married for the wrong reasons, married when they were young, that really say want to find love again, that want to get back out there, but they can't because we don't have currently no fault divorce. There has to be a reason. Someone has to do something bad to get divorced. So this just gives people more freedom. It's smaller government. I think it's a really good idea. All right. And that was House Bill 1697. All right. We got our last one to talk about this evening. Going to be House Bill 1740. Okay, House Bill 1740 to combat sex trafficking of minors and to protect the children of Arkansas from sexual predators and pedophiles. This is another good bill in here, and it does something inside this bill that a lot of people may not expect. So, of course, sex trafficking is terrible. We really have to make sure that we are protecting our children from sexual predators and pedophiles, such as Matt Gaetz. Yes, I had to throw that in there. All right. So one of the really interesting clauses that I put in here, these are all just statistics. They add all their statistics in there. Where is it? I'm going to cheat. 97. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's move down to the next one. and type this here. 1 of 9. Oh my gosh, next time I'm going to write down the numbers on my notes here. All right, so let's kind of go through here and check it out. Burden. Here we go. This is what I wanted to mention. By amending the age of consent to 18 years of age in this act, law enforcement will be able to more readily ascertain if the law has been violated. So they will be raising the age of consent in Arkansas to 18. So currently, the age of consent is 16 in Arkansas, and it will raise the age of consent to 18, the same as most other states already have. So I think this, of course, is another good bill, raising the age of consent, protecting children. This one's House Bill 1740. And let's see, it's been in the House, had an amendment in here, and has been engrossed, so it still needs to be voted on in the House. All right. But that is our legislative recap. Real quick, the website, I'm just going to paste it right there so it's easier for y'all to see since I have this cropped. The website where you can look at all of the bills that are currently going around that they're talking about, it's arkleg.state.ar.us. If you just Google search Arkansas LEG, it'll pop up the first thing there for you. And in case you're not familiar with this website, real quickly, let's just, I'll give a super quick overview. You just go to the website here, and then you can type in the bill number up top. You can type in an act number here. It has some really good information in here, Arkansas law. You can do legislators list, search district finders. You can see all of the different committees and who is in the committees. It's really, really good. And then if you scroll down, you can actually see, so our upcoming this Monday, you can look through at their schedule, and then you can kind of skip down. You can look through all, of course, the different committees and what they're talking about. You can go into like House Convenes. You can hit bills, and it will give you a breakdown for all of the bills that they are scheduled to talk about on Monday. And you can just click on a bill that you want. It will give you, of course, the bill number, the PDF of the bill, and all the things that I had just shown you. Now, it's a really amazing tool. If you get a chance to use it, enjoy. There's so much in here. I can actually hit, let's see, this month, and let's go ahead and go back up to just from here to here. And let's go ahead and click search. All right, so it's another thing you can do is you can look at a historical day. So Wednesday, March 10th, you can click video, and it will actually pull up the click through here. There we go. It will pull up and show you a video of the entire recorded legislative session. It has sound and everything on there. So play around with it. Make sure that you know what your representatives are doing in office because you're paying them. They work for you. And if you're not happy about it, make sure you're calling them and letting them know, which you can easily do by just going legislators, search, and you can search by name. It has all of the different ones here, says what district they're in, or you can do legislators, list all, or legislators, sorry, this is the one I was looking, district finder on here, and it will tell you when you look at what district you are, once it loads in, which it might not do because I'm live streaming. You can click different people in here. You can filter them by last name. So Missy Irvin, this is the area that she is representing here near Mountain Home. And if you click it again, it will give you her name, her position, her website, and political party, all that good stuff on here with her contact information and email. So it's a really, really cool website. And if you have any problems using this website, send me a message and I will do my best to help walk you through it so that you can learn how to do it yourself. But that's all I wanted to go over. 5 bad bills, 6 good bills. We actually had a fairly decent, comparatively speaking, legislative session this week than we have the prior couple months, unfortunately. But I'm always hopeful looking forward. I'm hoping that we will have more good bills come through. Again, we have House Bill 1570, the SAFE Act. We need to make sure that we do call Governor Asa Hutchinson and tell him how we feel about it. Let him know that we do not want to discriminate against children, that people don't just grow out of who they are, that he needs to veto that bill. We're running out of time. There's not much else we can do. All right, let me check real quick if there's any questions in here. And thank you so much, David, for posting the website in there. I do appreciate it. All right, I think I see all of the awesome Facebook followers. Thank you guys so much. But that's all we've got for you this evening. So thank you so much for spending some of your time, I guess about 35 minutes with me this evening. I do appreciate it. I will do my next weekly legislative recap next Friday at 8 p.m. So Fridays, 8 p.m. Central. That's when I usually do these. There shouldn't be anything next week to change that. But awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful evening. If you are going to watch my live stream update Q&A, you can ask me any kind of questions legislatively about me, my policies, anything like that. I will be here to answer your questions and give an update on my current campaign. Thank you guys. That will start in 25 minutes. You guys have a wonderful evening. If I don't see you, have a happy Easter. Have a good time with your family. Stay safe. May God bless y'all, and may God bless America.